Hi, my name is Dr. Erin Denil with Rejuvenate Life Chiropractic, and today I am going to talk about the three categories of primary stressors that are going to cause nervous system disturbances. So, as I talked about in a previous video, we would have, for example, a safety pin cycle in which our body is trying to communicate to our brain and our brain is trying to communicate to our body. If we have a disturbance or a muffling where we're not getting a clear signal from the brain to the area that it needs to go in the body, we're going to lead to a malfunction or a dysfunction, which when left uncorrected eventually causes disease processes. So it would be like an open safety pin. So what are these three categories of nervous system disturbances? Well, the first one, I'll just name all three: physical, chemical, and emotional. Okay, what would the physical category be? Well, anything, and most people can understand this one. It's pretty straightforward as far as what could some of those physical stressors be. For example, slips, falls, car accidents, injuries, sports injuries, sedentary lifestyle. We actually find that a sedentary lifestyle is more harmful on the body than smoking. Not that we want to be smokers, that's not good either, okay? Decreases our oxygen carrying capacity, which means we don't have as much oxygen. All tissues heal in the presence of oxygen. We need oxygen. So let's not say, okay, choose smoking over, sitting on our behinds all day, okay? We still want to get up and moving, and we still want to avoid smoking. Other things that people don't think of: micro traumas from repetitive injuries, learning to walk and crawl. Kids are falling on average about 5,000 times, just learning how to do that, learning how to walk and crawl. Now, they have more cartilage, their bodies are more resilient where they don't feel it, but it can still cause physical trauma to their body, which could make a communication between the brain and the body not as good as it should be, right? Disturbing that. Other process, the birth process. The birth process can for both mom and baby. Okay, so it can be a very traumatic experience for both. Now, this is just in a normal birth. This doesn't even have to be in one where there's complications. My little guy, well, he's not so little anymore, he's 10, but when he was a little baby, he's such a big little 9-pound peanut, but he came out and his hips just, he'd get constipated, so he was constantly getting his hips adjusted in order to keep everything moving, but that was a chronic problem from him, and he had a normal 4-push vaginal home birth delivery, not a problem, and he still had birth trauma. You take that a step back, go to someone like myself. I had the cord around my neck twice. I was blue. If you're familiar with an APGAR score, that's a ranking that they give babies 1 through 10 at how healthy they are. They want you to cry. They want those things. That was not me. I had oxygen and a whole bunch of other stuff right away. My birth trauma had lots and lots of ear infections when I was little, as well as other health problems. So for everyone, we have the potential to have those traumas start at birth, a very high potential. For others, where there are more complications like forceps, C-section or cesarean section delivery, we have vacuum extractions. Those have a way larger potential for problems. Some things to look at: if a child cannot turn their head equally to the side, if they are only comfortable laying on one side, if they've got a flat side on their head, where they're not, rotating, or they're having nursing difficulties, left to right if they are breastfeeding, or hard to take a bottle. So lots of things like that to keep in mind in that physical category. In the chemical category, what could cause problems? You're like, well, this is the nervous system. Nerves come out of the spine. I can get the idea, like we could have a compression or something like that, which actually most nerve compression is, it's not actually a compressed nerve. It's this disjointed communication, okay? Chemical categories. Well, let's just start with an obvious thing. We hear all of those things on the lawsuit that attorneys advertise on TV for asbestos, okay? So if we have exposure to something that can be toxic, especially to our lungs, if you're in like a coal mining area, different pollutants, exhaust, flame retardants from a food standpoint, artificial sweeteners, hydrogenated oils, I knew I forgot one, hydrogenated oils, trans fat, anything that's not food, right? Non-nutrient. If it is a non-nutrient, it's a problem. We'll have people with chemical category of nutritional deficiencies. Most people will not have enough water, and we will be nutrient deficient. I have a great line of whole food supplements that's actually at a very good price point. More information on my website, rejuvenatelifechiro.com, under the products tab. Auto ship saves people 20%. There's a code on there for 10% off. So most people not drinking enough water, as well as nutrient deficient. Other supplements I like are nitric oxide as well as CBD, in a realm to get people on a regular basis. Cleaning products are very chemical laden. Smoking, secondhand smoke. So not only does it decrease our oxygen, but it also adds a whole bunch of other junk into our system. Flame retardants, personal care products, genetically modified organisms or GMOs. Any medication that can alter normal body physiology when you're taking it over a long period of time can be a stressor. Well, actually, even some of it can be a stressor on the short term. If we're going or overriding what our normal body systems should do, or we're not allowing our body to fix it on its own, we can be causing problems. Heavy metal exposure like lead, aluminum, mercury, lithium. Most people, if we're exposed to over 200 chemicals per day that most people are putting onto or into themselves. I like to have organic as much as I can, or at least natural and homemade. So I use homemade soaps. I use organic shampoos and conditioners. I use baking soda, vinegar, salt, hydrogen peroxide to clean. Most of the things I love the Environmental Working Group. It's a fantastic website to look. So my cosmetics are all as environmentally working group approved as I can go. Kind is the kind of face cleansing system that I use that's organic, as well as sea-friendly, and it's been working great for me. So I like that brand. I've tried a lot of different things, but anyway, decreasing those things. But especially those darn artificial sweeteners can be really neurotoxic. There's lots of neurotoxic things. If we're talking neurotoxic, okay, we're talking it's disturbing the nervous system, which controls and coordinates the whole body. Last category. Now this category is emotional, and most people go, what? How could this affect our nervous system? Well, I want to give you an example. Have you ever been really angry? Do you notice your body goes, we tighten up, we get mad, our face gets red? Our emotion can cause a physiological change in the body that can manifest itself. Ever been really nervous and you feel yourself start to sweat? We get in that fight or flight response, your tummy gets all butterfly-like, and you just kind of, panic. If we have an emotional category, the people who have anxiety attacks or face a lot of depression, they understand this very, very well. And it's almost, especially if someone gets triggered, it's like there's this uncontrollable flush of physiological change that comes over the body, and it's like you have no control over it. Breathing exercises really help this, as well as working on what triggers people in general. That's a whole other category. A lot of people have great counselors that work with them on those things. So worry, fear, doubt, lack of trust, financial stress, relationship stress, loss of loved ones, anxiety or depression, rushing around the go, go, go all the time, constantly stuck in this fight or flight pattern. All of those things can cause a problem. We might have a health condition, an underlying health condition that's just wearing on us. We actually register emotional and physical pain in the same part of our brain. And so Matt Lieberman talks about that in one of his TED Talks, I believe, on YouTube. But those emotional stressors, actually 70% of the population has their biggest stressor in this emotional category, because it affects our mind. I mean, we typically, we might not even think about the chemical stressors. They can affect us, but if you've ever been up worrying in the middle of the night or stuck on a loop of thoughts that just doesn't want to get out, you know what I'm talking about. So in my office, I like to have an idea of what the primary stressor is for the patient, because this helps us know what we need to tackle first. Okay, so whatever the stressor is that's causing the most amount of nervous system disturbance, we want to address that in addition to the chiropractic adjustment, which helps restore that communication. Anytime we have proper joint movement, we have the proper mechanics working, we have the proper receptors firing, we're going to help restore those disturbances to that nervous system. So chiropractic works phenomenally for a whole overall general health of the body. Again, I am Dr. Erin Denil with Rejuvenate Life Chiropractic, and these were the 3 major causes of nervous system disturbances: physical, chemical, and emotional. You can find me at rejuvenatelifechiro.com. If you like my videos, like them, share them, show them to a friend, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day.